Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I'm going to be going over Super Poly, how you can use it, what you can use it against, how to beat it, why you should be playing it, why you shouldn't be playing it, just everything over this card. So let's just hop right in. So first of all, you could either main deck or side deck the 3 Super Poly. It is at 3, which is kind of insane. I would suggest side decking it. I don't think it's main deck worthy right now. And then you could use it against, and this is going to be kind of a long list, because I just wanted like everything meta in this list, so that way you guys know what you can use it against. So a lot of people are using Anaconda to summon out Dragoon. That's how it's being summoned most often. And this leaves you with 2 Darks on board, and nobody's playing around Super Poly right now, so you can summon either Starving Venom or the Predaplant Fusion. I think this is probably the better one to make in this exact situation. Also, they can play around it by using they can use Anaconda effect to try to make something dark, and then just change your goon to negate and destroy Anaconda, so that way they get a dark off board. So there is a way that they can play around that. But nobody's doing that right now, like I said, so I think it's worth siding Super Poly versus like this combo. Next, you can make the Dragon Knight Draco, which takes a Dragon type Synchro monster and a Warrior monster, which Savage Charles. You can use these. This is a very common on board, and you can use those to make this. And this doesn't really do anything on your board. I mean, it has 3,200 attack and is a dragon. It's pretty cool, but it's just there to get rid of these, because these would both be an interruption. Like equip Roland the Charles as a pop and Savage negate, so Super Poly trades with those well. Next, you can use Lord and Conquistador, 2 zombies, to make Necro. That comes up, I guess. I don't think you'd have to play this if you're siding it versus Eldritch. Especially if they're playing like the Dragoon stuff mainly, you could just side these or have these in your extra deck for the Super Poly. You wouldn't need this. This is like if you're playing like a bad deck and you have more extra deck space. Then you could also use like a Lord and Ecclesia or Ecclesia and Conquistador to make Mud Dragon, since this is a zombie light and this is a spellcaster light. So that's another thing that you can make. You can also summon this so many different ways if Macaba's on board. You can use Macaba plus another one of their monsters, such as Winda, or you could use Macaba and then like normal summon your own Jet, make Link Kuriboh, and then use your Link Kuriboh and their Macaba to make your own Invoked, and then you could Jet bring itself out. Also, something to note is that if you do summon this card, it's not just a light, it's also a dark, earth, water, fire, and wind. So this is just everything. And if they use the Shaddoll Trap to summon out Winda or Construct, they could send this, because this is every attribute. So you gotta make sure to watch out for that, because you don't want them summoning Winda and sending this for free in response to your Jet Synchron effect, and then you're left with just a Jet Synchron on board, and they have a Winda, and you've gone through like 4 cards. So just watch out for that. And then this is just a cool card that I thought I would include. It takes 3 Link monsters, so you can Super Poly, get rid of 3 Links and summon this out. I think that's pretty amazing. If we ever get a deck like Spiral again where they summon a whole bunch of Links on the board, I think this card will be very good. With Super Poly, I don't know when a deck like that's going to come out. I don't think there's a deck like that right now, but I just thought it'd be cool to include this. You can also use the one that takes 3 Darks. I know there's like another Predaplant. Or I don't know if it's a Predaplant, to be honest, but I know it takes 3 Darks and it's a fusion. You could also use that. I didn't include it on this list because I feel like every format that card has been a thing, that these 2 have just been better, since these 2 are a lot easier to make. And now, talking about how to beat it, you can set up Buster on your turn, and then pass to your opponent, and their Super Poly will obviously be dead, since they can't summon from the extra deck. So there's one way to beat it. And I think this should be played in Dragon right now instead of Dragoon for a lot of reasons. Not because it beats Super Poly, but because it's less bricks and the end board is just better. So this card's really good. And then Secret Village, you might be like, why are you showing off Secret Village? Invoked Dragoon has became a really popular deck. And this deck already plays Terraforming, so they can search Secret Village too, which is really cool. And they have Winda as a spellcaster, they have Ecclesia as a spellcaster, and they have Dragoon as a spellcaster. So, and they have Alistair. That's only if they're playing the Ecclesia, but they have a lot of spellcasters, like Alistair, that's one of their starters. Ecclesia, if they're playing its starter. Winda, they're always making this. And Dragoon, they're actually always making Dragoon. So, like, the deck's always going to have a spellcaster out post, like, turn 1. If they don't, then they're probably just losing anyways, because they got their Alistair negated, and they're probably just playing with, like, a hand trap. But Secret Village is a way to stop the opponent. You got to also take note that it can stop you from activating spells if you don't have a spellcaster. But I think it could be worth it versus decks that have a lot of spells. Like if you're playing against like even like versus like Eldlish, you could activate this, and if your opponent doesn't have any spells and they're playing Eldlish, they have to open up like Lord plus a spell or trap to discard to play through an interruption, and then Jet to keep going. So their hand has to be absolutely perfect to beat Secret Village. Now I'm going to talk about why you should be playing these and why you shouldn't. You should be playing these if your deck has troubles with Dragoon, and your deck also has graveyard effects off the discard. If you're having if you want more going second cards versus the warrior deck, works versus them. If you have problems with the invoke deck, if you are playing the invoke deck, you could also play Super Poly. I think it's really good in the invoke deck, at least, or the side deck, because you can make a lot of things in your extra deck. Another reason why you should be playing it is because nobody is playing around it right now. They're just leaving their Verte up. But that also goes reasons why you shouldn't be playing it. If Super Poly does get popular, which there is like a 50% chance that this card gets popular, then people are just going to Dragoon destroy Verte, so that way they play around it every game. And once you start seeing people play around it every game, then Super Poly just isn't good. So I think this is a really cool card. Right now at this exact moment, definitely side deck it. I mean, you don't have to side deck it, but like don't main deck it. Like if you are gonna play it, side deck it. Certain decks can side deck it. I think Invoked, it's really good side decked in. Like Pure Eldlish, it would be very good in that deck too. Like slower decks, I don't think Big Combo needs this or has the room for it in their extra deck. They would have to side in the extra deck cards, and at that point they could just side better stuff. But I do think this is cool. We'll probably see it be played over time, and then also start seeing people play around it. If you guys want me to make a video on how Synchro Eldlish can play around Super Poly, then I will. But I'll make that video if this gets popular, because there's a lot of ways that Synchro Eldlish can play around Super Poly. Like a lot of ways. Like I'm thinking of like 3 right now. But that's going to be it for the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. The DB Grinder signing off. Peace.